The Resurrection Code, Returning from Betrayal with Power. Introduction. The descent was never the end. Every woman who has faced betrayal, humiliation, or devastation knows this truth. Survival is not enough. Rising from it with wisdom, discernment, and power is the ultimate transformation. Inanna did not stay in the underworld. She rose, but not as the same woman she was before. Something had to die in her before she could ascend. Today we're exploring what had to die, what had to be reborn, and how women like Hailey Bailey, Keke Palmer, Thee Stallion, and Cassie Ventura have lived the cycle in real time. And I just want to do a warning, a content warning. This is sensitive material. We'll be talking about betrayal, abuse, toxic relationships, public humiliation. And if this is something that you may get triggered by, it's okay if you turn off and don't listen to this video. I honor whatever you have gone through, and it's okay. But if you stay, please just be mindful. And at any time, if you do feel triggered, please pause or turn off the video. With that said, welcome back, Sacred Souls. I am Shadow Moon, priestess, oracle, and head mistress of the Dark Mother Mysteries. Today, we arrive at our final lesson in Inanna'S journey, not her descent, but her resurrection. Because resurrection is not just about coming back, it's about coming back different. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Inanna returned after death. What had to die in her? When Inanna descended into the underworld as a queen, a goddess, a ruler, she was stripped of her titles, her power, her clothes, everything she thought made her who she was. She was humiliated and ultimately killed. Her resurrection was not just a return, it was a rebirth. In order to rise, she had to release the illusions, attachments, and identities that no longer served her. What had to die in her? The need for external validation. Before, she ruled with power granted by worship. After, she understood that true sovereignty cannot be taken. What else had to die in her? The illusion of invulnerability. Her suffering proved that even goddesses must go through transformation. And what else died in her? The outdated version of herself. She would turn wiser, sharper, and more discerning. When women go through betrayal, humiliation, or public shame, they must undergo the same spiritual death and rebirth. Lesson 2. How betrayal builds discernment. Inanna was betrayed by those closest to her. The priestess who aided her descent, the gods who stayed silent, even her lover Dumuzi, who showed no grief at her passing. Just like Hailey, Keke, Meg, and Cassie, women today are still forced into their own underworlds by betrayal from men they trusted, industries they served, and systems they've upheld. But betrayal, when alchemized, becomes your greatest teacher. It forges discernment. It sharpens your inner eyes. It rewires your nervous system to detect deception, manipulation, and disrespect before it infects your soul. Betrayal isn't just about loss, it's about awakening. It teaches us what we once ignored, denied, or excused. The resurrection code requires that seeing people for who they are, not who we hope they'd be. It requires recognizing manipulation early, understanding that love without respect is not love at all. Look at how betrayal shaped these women. Hailey Bailey realized that some men study women not to love them, but to exploit their softness. Keke Palmer saw firsthand that some men pretend to admire strong women only to later try to control them. Thee Stallion learned that public perception can be weaponized against Black women's pain. And Cassie Ventura, she realized that fear kept her silent, but when she finally spoke, her truth shattered illusions. Betrayal, when transmuted into wisdom, becomes discernment. And discernment is what prevents cycles from repeating. Lesson 3. Discernment is one of the most sacred and potent traits of the dark feminine. Here's why. Number 1, discernment is the eyes of the underworld. The dark feminine archetype, whether Inanna, Hecate, Medusa, or Lilith, sees through illusions. She does not look away from the shadow. She walks straight into it. Discernment is her weapon and her shield of choice. It's not about judgment necessarily. It's about penetrating perception. It's the gut feeling that says, this man is charming, but his energy is off. This opportunity looks good, but something feels exploitative. This friendship is sweet, but it drains me. It is the inner knowing that doesn't need to prove or needs proof to choose self protection. And ladies, your gut will never lie to you. Your body will never lie to you. When you're in situations and you don't know how to really read something, pay attention to how your body feels. If your jaw or your cheeks feels kind of tight, if you're noticing that you're clenching down on your teeth, if your body feels tense, you know, those are all signs that do not proceed forward. Number 2, discernment protects the womb. The dark feminine is the keeper of sacred life. She doesn't just birth babies, she births ideas, visions, and civilizations. But before anything can be born, she must decide what's worthy of entering her sacred space. Discernment is womb guarding energy. It asks, is this seed worthy of being planted in my soil? Is this man worthy of being in my presence? Will this grow into something nourishing or poisonous? This is divine gatekeeping, and every woman should practice it. Number 3, discernment is born in pain, not ease. Discernment isn't just gifted, it's forged through betrayal, heartbreak, and survival. The dark feminine becomes discerning after she's been lied to, used, and or deceived. She sharpens her intuition like a blade. She doesn't seek revenge unless she chooses to. And she seeks clarity as well. This is why the phrase, once a woman wakes up, you can't put her back to sleep, is real. Discernment is the soul's refusal to be fooled twice. What's the saying goes? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. No, we're not getting to it twice because there will not be anything after the first time. Discernment, number 4, discernment is spiritual X-ray vision. Light feminine energy often gives the benefit, light feminine energy often gives the benefit of the doubt. They believe in forgiveness. The dark feminine, she asks deeper questions. Like a scorpion, she probes. She asks as many questions as necessary to put her mind at ease. She doesn't just listen to words, she listens to tone, silence, body language, and energy. She tracks patterns. She observes patterns with precision. She recalls warnings with clarity. She pays attention to red flags. She makes and bases her decisions not on hope, but on reality and truth. This doesn't make her bitter, it prevents her from becoming prey to manipulators. Lesson 4, reclaiming voice, authority, and femininity after trauma. Coming back from betrayal requires more than survival. It calls for resurrection, where you reclaim your voice louder, Your authority is firmer, and your femininity no longer is shaped by pain, but by power. You learn to say, this is who I am. This is what I will no longer tolerate. This is the version of me that betrayal built but did not break. When women survive humiliation, they must ask, what kind of woman do I want to be after this? Because survival is not enough. Resurrection means coming back with authority, power, and a fully embodied identity. How these women reclaim themselves? Hailey Bailey, stepping back into her career and choosing motherhood on her own terms. Keke Palmer, owning her narrative through legal action and public empowerment. Thee Stallion, building boundaries through silence and strategic self protection and getting the help that she needed. Cassie Ventura, shattering illusions through truth telling, getting the law involved, and having complete detachment. And now she's flourishing in her family and her baby girls. Each of these women represents different aspects of feminine power: the voice, the boundary, the silence, and the truth. Lesson 5: creating your new identity from wholeness, not wounds. This is not about being the healed version, quote unquote, that never hurts. It's about becoming the woman who no longer hides her scars. You're not just surviving the underworld, you're redesigning your life. The final lesson: who will you be after betrayal? Who will you be after destruction? Inanna did not return as the woman she was before. She came back refined, transformed, and reborn, better than ever. Hailey chose her soft power. Keke held firm on her motherhood. Meg stood tall in her truth. And Cassie walked away from control. Each of them gave us a key. This is how women reclaim themselves, not from bitterness, but from clarity, not from survival mode, but from sovereignty, and not from wounds, but from wholeness. You are not required to stay in a broken place. You are allowed to rebuild, reshape, and redefine yourself, not as a victim of what happened, but as a sovereign force moving forward. This is the resurrection code. You don't come back the same, you come back as sovereign. Lesson 6: rise in your own name. You are no longer the woman who went down. You are the one who came back with vision, wisdom, and a new standard. Let betrayal be the soil. Let resurrection be the bloom. Because, like Inanna, you went through hell, but you chose not to stay there. In closing, thank you, sacred souls, for walking the path of Inanna with me through the gates of descent, the silence of the underworld, and the rise of resurrection. Inanna's journey is not just mythology, it's our story. It's your story. Every time you've been stripped bare, left in the dark, and still chose to rise, you were living the code, the resurrection code. This series was more than a reflection of a goddess. It was a mirror for the sacred, sovereign, and shadow parts of you. I am so deeply honored that you trusted me to be your guide. May you carry Anana's courage in your bones, her wisdom in your womb, and her crown upon your head, because you too have descended and you too are destined to rise. If this resonated with you, drop a comment down below. What was a moment in your life where you had to rebuild yourself? Share this video with a woman who needs to hear it, and stay tuned for more videos. Until next time, I am Shadow Moon, Oracle, Priestess, and Head Mistress of the Dark Mother Mystery School, signing off. Class is dismissed.